good morning, good afternoon, good night. Whatever time you're watching this, as always, thanks for watching Common Sense Fishing. So, welcome to the show. Please smash that like button. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button where we talk about fishing, how to fish, how to catch fish, how to break down bodies of water, what the fish are doing, recent stuff we've been catching them on. Have a lot of fun here. We also go down rabbit holes and talk about all kinds of other fun stuff. I have another channel, Common Sense Talks. If you're interested, check that out. We do sports stuff, news, opinion, all kinds of other stuff that we don't talk about here. So, welcome. Thanks for watching. Again, I usually do these Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. or 7 to 9 p.m., depending on what time I can get here. However, I did Monday and Wednesdays. So, good to see everybody on. How's it going, Charles Chott? Gerb's in the house. Yo, yo. So, sorry for missing those few days there. Been real busy trying to just work my butt off and hustle up for the rest of the fall, make some money before we get into winter. You know, I own my own business, so I'm taking this downtime I have like a second job, so to speak. So I'm doing a bunch of stuff, juggling a bunch of things, but we're making it happen, Captain. So don't forget, we have, I think next Wednesday, we're going to do members giveaway. So every month we have a giveaway for our members. So the big thank you to our members. That'll be next Wednesday. So we'll do that live. So stay tuned for that. And then Christmas, every member gets a prize. So, and then we're going to do a giveaway for our regular subscribers. So we're going to do a big giveaway on Christmas. So stay tuned for that. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to try to bring you guys the best tips and tricks on how to catch bass in any lake, pond, river, wherever you guys are at. Leave comments. I try to read them so that way we can interact. Heck yeah. Glad to be back. Good to see you, Curtis LeDuc. And we'll try to help break down as much as we can the fall bite. You know, once we start getting into the fall and it starts getting real cold, then we'll get into the winter transition. So right now we're on the full fall bite. There's a cold front coming in. You know, it's already been moved in. So fishing has probably gotten tough for people. Fish are probably starting to kind of smack down to the bottom if you're not seeing them or finding them in schools. This is where the drop shot's going to start shining when they go through those phases where just like pressure change or something, just like freak of nature. You drive around the lake, you can't find them, can't see them. Like, what the hell? Where are the fish? They're usually there. They're just peeled to the bottom. So just at that point, usually you got to fish a little deeper, fish a little slower, take your time, backs of creeks, look near wood, any, big boulders and structure like that. So welcome to the show, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great Friday night. TGIF, am I right? And I hope you guys and gals have a great weekend. I'm on smallmouth on the bank with Ned rigs. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, Ned rigs work good. Fish are all over the place. So it just depends. Over in our area, we get a cold front. A spinner bait is a really good way to pick fish off in the fall when there's still big schools of fish running around, getting chomped on. That can also be a reason sometimes it's hard to find bass. It's not that they're not there. It's not even that they're maybe peeled to the bottom. They're just moving so often in these big schools. You can be at a spot and there's nothing there, and then drive and smash, and then 20 minutes later there's something, the schools could be moving around and smashing around the lake as well. Usually when that happens, you'll see activity, you'll see them busting and chasing stuff. But sometimes, though, when we get these cold fronts in, everything kind of drops, but they still move, right? Because it's not super cold yet. So, but the fish start sinking downwards. The bait fish start going down because they like at a certain temp. So the top end of the layers of the lake starts cooling off at night when it's 40 degrees. And these fish that want it like 55, like some of these bait fish, if I remember correctly, something like that, like shads, they'll start going deeper. So when they go deeper, the bass go deeper to chase them. in which case, depending on the body of water that you're at, there's also crawdads that are starting to come out. So the jig bite's going to turn on fire. So there should be fish shallow too. Really just depends on your fishery. Cheers. Nice to see you on tonight. Let's crack. Bam. Really depends on the fishery. So remember, this is a big tip I always try to give people. If the lake, river, whatever you're fishing, if it's staying steady, the fish can do a lot of different things. But if the lake is dropping, then the fish will tend to pull off and congregate like that. If the lake is rising, the fish will move up, check stuff out. And you'll find them, real shallow when the lake is rising. So usually, given those factors, you can know where to fish, but they break all the rules. Sometimes lake could be dropping, the fish will be right up there in the water, just waiting as the water pulls down, waiting for stuff to come down with it. If there's any bait fish or stuff hiding, a bass can also position in 3 to 5 feet of water or less and face upward. And as the water draws down, wait for stuff to come with the water. I don't know, but usually the rule of thumb are deeper and or offshore. Not even necessarily deeper. They could be in the top 5-6 feet, whatever, of water, but out a bit, not right smack up against the shore. So if the water's dropping, excuse me. So I did the square bill thing last Sunday in the Delta, and they were killing it on incoming tide in a flooded island. So much fun. Heck yeah, square bill, man, it's the way to go. Curtis, I'm telling you, at the Delta, you can take that square bill, and there's a couple ways that I can tell you, man. You have to be the right place, right time. But there's a couple techniques with that thing that will win tournaments when I swear to you, we've thrown everything else and they don't seem to activate like it. So you take the square bill, and one way at the Delta, get smack as close as you can to the shore, just get right there and cover like an inch, like literally right up on shore, and then up to about a foot away, and rail that. And that's usually on high tide, on ultra high tide. And run that and just cruise and just run that crankbait, and you'll get destroyed like about 10 or 8 months out of the year, 8 to 10 months out of the year. Your crankbait it'll be like a go-to lure when the tide's moving. And if the tide, it doesn't matter where tide's going. So what happens is, in my opinion, I'm not for sure, I'm not a super Delta rat, but if the tide's moving one way, the fish will want the lure retrieved a certain way. If the tide is moving another, they'll want the lure retrieved another way. So if fighting the tide the wrong way, you may not be getting as many bites. You may still get some bites. Some fish may be sitting like this, and then as the lure comes behind them, they may decide to hit it. But a lot of times these fish are sitting there in an ambush spot waiting. And then when their lure comes by, it's like make or break moment, and they come out and hit it. Going to try that tomorrow tournament. Heck yeah. I'm telling you, man, one of the things to do with the square bill, so Mark Nav, do you remember how you were getting them with the Cinco, like on that weed edge? Instead of punching into that stuff, right? You cast it on the outside edge, and there were fish that came out and hit the Cinco. If you run your square bill parallel, same way, and you run it slow, don't be burning your square bill. Sometimes, try it. Sometimes go fast, sometimes go slow, and you'll be surprised. Do that parallel. Then another thing that you can do with the square bill is look for, so there's weeds all over the Delta, right? And then look for blank spots where there's no weeds, or little lanes or pathways, and cast your square bill and slowly roll it around and through and snaking through all that crap. Cast your square bill into holes in places you don't really think you can run it through. As long as you have a kind of pathway, even if there's weeds and there's tules and shit, your bill, you can pop your lure over stuff because your bill will always hit things before the hooks do. So you can hit, like if there's a branch in the way, you can run your square bill into it softly, boom, and then poop, pop it over. So there's all kinds of cool tricks you can do to work your square bill in play. And then if you get a fish, you just pull the fish over the branch of wood. Literally, it's crazy. I've seen, like, if you get a 10 pounder, you better probably go right to that branch, but if you got a 2, 3, 4 pounder or whatever, you can pull that sucker right over the branch, and over weeds and tules and all that. Got me sidetracked. But yeah, and then the third way I would really use it is like a jerk bait. That's one of the secrets guys don't understand, is the one of the biggest triggers of a square bill for a bass to eat it is when it bumps into something, right? So when the square bill hits a rock, deflects off a branch, hits something and moves the other way, that triggers a reactionary strike out of bass. They just scream it. Now, one way to do that is, let's say you're rolling and then you hit some weeds. Then what you do is you pause and you kind of float up and then you rip it through like twice, and your square bill does like a jerk bait and rips through the weeds. And the first rip pulls the square bill and the weeds in a violent manner, like does all this commotion, right? And then the second rip, the square bill has that little pause where you go rip, pause, and then you go to rip it again, right? In that brief moment of time, the square bill starts to disengage from the weed pile because you pull everything and the square bill floats, and then it backs up and floats while the weeds still kind of sitting there. And then that second rip, the line kind of cuts right through the weeds and the square bill takes off clean. It works almost every time, just a double rip, boom, boom, just like a jerk bait. And as soon as you do that, then slow down and real steady, and you'll get hit like within a second, a half a second, maybe 2 seconds of that, because the bass will be seeing that. They'll be keyed in. That violent movement through the weeds will catch its attention, and then it sees the square bill escape and then take off slow like it's injured. Oh, that bass is gonna boom, hammer that shit. So try those different things, but heads up, I launched at Paradise off 8 Mile Road and came back to my after fishing. Someone stole my catalytic converter off my truck in the parking lot in the middle of the day. Oh, hell no. I'm so sorry to hear that, my dude. Curtis, that sucks. That's bull. That's not cool. That's not fun. People shouldn't have to deal with that. Oh, guy got his catalytic converter stripped off his truck, huh? That sucks. And you launched out at Paradise, huh? Hell yeah, that sucks. Yeah, that's where I used to launch, man. I used to launch out of Lois Park all the time, like straight in the ghetto. I didn't have a really nice truck. I had a Durango, and it worked. It got me around. But my boat wasn't really nice and flashy either, so I was like camouflage. Dun-dun-dun-dun. It was able to launch in the ghetto. Nobody bothered me, didn't pay me no attention. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have like a fancy bass rig set up or like a fancy truck or even semi. It was just like an old beater Dodge Durango with my little old beater. I used to have a 1986 Champion. Yeah, I go fish the Delta all the time. And I caught so many monsters, like 6, 7, and 8 pounders, even a couple 9 pounders out of the Delta. I got my first double digit out of the Delta on the shore, right? Go figure. It's funny, but yeah, that sucks, dude. I seen a car floating in the Delta, a brand new Mercedes Benz, too, at Lois Park. Wasn't really floating; it was like sunk, but it's like ass end or part of it was sticking out, And it was crazy too. It was like where it shouldn't be. Like, how did it get here? Like, that's way too far from the shore, and I didn't see the tide had to pull it out, so it was there for a little while, dumped probably earlier in the night. Delta's crazy. You see some crazy shit at the California Delta. And you know what? Sacramento River, same thing. At nighttime, I remember fishing a lot at the Sac River. My uncle used to teach me about watch out for the bums. And oh yeah, Stockton and Sacramento too. Discovery Park area, a couple different areas. You don't want to be out there like striper fishing at night by yourself. Hell no. You know what I mean? All the weirdos come bug you and hit you up. Yeah. So if you're with a group of 3 or 4 guys or whatever, you got your lanterns and nobody will mess with you. But you go try to go solo or something. I went one time solo at the Sac, but lucky I was like at a motel that was right there, and I was able to fish and caught a bunch of like big pike minnows and a couple catfish, caught a sucker fish. So it was fun. I was there for like business. A lot of times when I go travel for HVAC business and like training or seminar stuff or whatever, um, I always take my fishing pole and some tackle with me if it's within a few states, or if I have to fly, I'll buy stuff wherever I'm at. If I'm there for more than like 3 days, 2, 3 days, not even, so like Florida, had fun time doing that. Got to fish where there were all the gators, catch a bunch of bass, and the sign says "Don't feed the alligators." I got a picture all grinning. There was a dude with a bucket of chicken just sitting there chilling, fishing. Yeah, and he was hecka cool. And he was like saying there's a gator that he feeds chicken to. And he was like catfishing or bass fishing or doing something, but he was just chilling. And same guy I gave all my gear to when I left because I was only there for like a week. So it was like, well, I can't take all this crap with me on the plane. So, and I just bought like, $49.99 Walmart combos and some bass gear. So, and I caught hella bass, had a fun time. I got like a bunch of four. I got like a 5 pounder and then a bunch of like twos and threes. This pond was stacked. I caught a bunch of little fish too. I caught a ton of fish. So my boss, everybody thought it was hilarious. They're like, this guy. And then there was another dude, another guy did the same thing as me. He goes, that's about the best idea. The guy's from Georgia. And there was a bunch of HVAC guys from all over the country that met up in Florida. And this guy was like super impressed. He see me catching all these fish on the first day. And he goes, Ma, I wish second day he shows up. He's fishing right beside me. And we're catching fish together. And it was fun. So I had a good time out in Florida. But yeah, I don't know. I did some dumb shite oblivious to like the potential hazards around me. You know what I mean? When you go fishing and you're like not really thinking about the neighborhood that you're in or the city that you're in. And I'll be out there like 17, 19, 20, whatever, super young, 22, 23. I'll be out like on the river with a lantern, no sleeping, no nothing, probably barely like a hoodie or something, starting a fire or something, getting all belligerent, getting bent and fishing all night long, all uncomfortable with no chair to sit in, no nothing. That's how we did it. Might have a friend, usually one buddy. What's some good places to launch? Since my boat I just got to Wimpy's. It's close. Anybody? In the Delta. I just like to launch out of Lads, honestly. That's Buckley Cove. Lads is a real safe spot usually. I mean, I've seen people's shit get busted into there, but it's not very often. And like that's where a lot of people launch from. It's $10 or it's like $15 or something. But the lady always lets me in for 10. But it's not much. I don't know, maybe $13 or it's 15. But yeah, Lads is the one that like everybody goes to. That's pretty much you got Russo's too, I think, right? So Russo's Marina is another one. Um, yeah, B&W is one, like Curtis said. Um, let's see here. What's the other one that I'm thinking of? You were talking about Paradise Point, huh? That's where you had launched from. Yeah, at Paradise. How about is that you talking about Paradise Point, Curtis Leduc? Is that where you got right there? because that's usually I've done right there, dropped in right there. There's Holland Track right there. You can go in by Sugar Barge, I think, right? Yeah, I fished at Paradise Point all the time. Do good out there. That sucks. So you got your shit broken into. Freaking tweakers, dude. Man, that's so crazy how expensive those things are and that people steal that crap. That's just like, man, it's just insurance or something ought to cover it. 4 grand. It's like, man, most people don't even have that. I barely have like, well, I have that, but you know what I mean? Like saved up, like shh. Most people don't. And I know I didn't for the longest time, until the last like 10 years or so. Then I've been doing all right, but still not even then. Life comes ups and downs, but you fished 10 to 4 middle of the day and then knew what it was, Dodge Diesel. Damn, that sucks. Yeah, they've targeted you then probably for your brand, I would assume. I hear that happens every once in a while. Like if there's like a sought after brand where they can get a higher price for their component or whatever, then there'll be like a target on the street because then it's worth it. Like, oh, we could sell that for 2 grand, you know? It's going to cost me $500. That's 2 new rods. Yep. Hell yeah. 2 new nice rods, man. 250 for me, that'd be a rod and a reel. I'll be at Bass Pro Shop with a 189.99. Dealer only. Yep. I get good stuff too though. I want to get a DC reel and play with it. I'm pretty dang good with all my reels and I'm pretty sure, yeah, I don't have any, electronic brake reels. So it would be cool to get one and see how like dialed in I could really get with it. But it's not necessary. But yeah, I think that's going to be the next step because I do have like a $500 combo basically, but that's because the pole's like over $300. And then the reel that I got, yeah, it's a $600 because it's like a $300 reel. But something like that, But you can get them, you can get them for cheaper. But when they were bought for me like a year and a half ago, that's what they were. I got 2 of them that are like that. But of course, my wife had to buy them for me. Yeah, Dobbins is a good one for sure. But, you know, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. To me, I've noticed there's a big difference in the quality when you spend the more money on some of the higher end gear. It's just so light, it feels so good. The rod's so sensitive. Um, and like I said, I've had some buddies with some very expensive rods. Let me hold them and fish with them a bit, and you can feel a difference for sure. But I don't know where that price point is for me quite yet. Where it's like okay, because there's definitely, I'll tell you, I'll go to Walmart and buy a $50 rod, and it's pretty heavy. After a while, the biggest complaint about a cheap rod and reel to me is that it's heavy, it's heavier. They may not be as sensitive, but you just get a different action and length, right? So you can get some cheap rods that are pretty sensitive. It just depends, right? Maybe it's just not the highest quality material. So if you're looking for like, let's say a medium heavy or whatever, blah, blah, and you had a really nice rod, you're like, I'm used to this sensitivity level. Then you get a $50 Walmart combo that's that sensitive, or that size. Of course, it's not going to be as sensitive. But the 2 biggest things I think that I've noticed is as far as the difference between a cheap and expensive one is going to be weight and sensitivity. Well, the 3 will be weight, sensitivity, and then with the reels is definitely like a couple of different factors. Handability, like how it feels in your hand, how smooth it is, plus the weight of it, all in your comfort, and also I would say the longevity. So like the cheaper reels, they'll give out after, a while. Oh yeah, you know it. How's it going, Horrible Angler? Nice to see you, buddy. Yeah. They break, yeah. But with the higher end stuff, you can definitely tell. But with the cheaper stuff, it's like, so where's that price point, right? Because there's like super expensive, and then there's cheap, and I'm kind of like, eh, you know, I don't know. It's like pulling teeth to get me to spend more than like 200 or 300 bucks on a rod. But if I had a lot, then I will. So like, it's funny if like because there's a couple times in my life I've had 20, 30 grand at hand, right? Where I've did good by work hard or saved it up or something, or windfall came, and of course I'd go buy a really nice rod or reel or something, if I had that. But that kind of stuff doesn't happen all the time, and very rare if ever, especially when you become more mature to handle those kind of windfalls, you know what I mean? Or even just situations where you save up, maybe even not that much, but then once you realize you got 15, 20, you're like, oh, I could buy this or that. You don't manage it quite right, but I don't. I did the first good thing. I think took a step. I bought a home, so that's a good investment. So working there, but yep. Hope you're doing good. Horrible. Nice to see you on tonight. Yep, we doing the live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. We just chat, have a good time. I do giveaways once a month. We talk about all kinds of different topics. We chill. I drink beers. Usually we shoot the breeze, go down rabbit holes sometimes, talk about some different topics, but, try to keep it fishing orientated. But we have a lot of fun. So sometimes we just get loose, whatever. I read the comments and we go off of whatever. Sometimes, heck, I've been known to freestyle Friday, right? Sell that Niner gear behind you, right? Oh man. So on my other channel, Common Sense Talks, I did a unboxing where I had just ordered a bunch of autographed jerseys. And here, let me grab them real quick. I'll show you. I had just ordered these. And these are, but I'll show you these ones. These are the ones that mattered to me. The other ones are for an investment, but we got Dennis Rodman. So then Jeff Garcia. All right. Then Muggsy Bogues, the little dude in basketball. Super good. Yeah, Cecil Fielder, baseball player. Woo-hoo. Oh, don't want to drop that. And Dante Culpepper, Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, Rudy Rudiger from Notre Dame, from the movie Rudy. So I just got a recent order of autographed jerseys. So yeah, I love collecting stuff. One of my favorite things to do. Woo-hoo. And actually, I'm going to be taking a bunch of certain stuff and going and like setting up a little shop and trying to, sell a little bit of it. So at a cool rate too, not too expensive. Because I've collected since I was like 10, 12 years old. I got all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. But anyways, so I can't wait to see like how many toys we generate this year for the kids, doing the toy drive. So I take people fishing on fishing trips. They donate some toys, and we take care of kids. I got like I think 6 bikes inside the garage over there, and then like 20 or something like that, or a gang of those like scooter bikes. You have one choice of bait and one owner to take to Delta. What is it? Well, that's easy. A square bill. Square bill. Go big or go home. I'd rather go to the Delta and throw the square bill all day and either bomb it, because if they're going to eat the square bill, then they're going to eat the square bill. And you can get 10 pounders and 12 pounders, and you can get 2 and 1 pounders. and stripers and salmon will eat it. Everything they eat the square bill. So the square bill is it's a big fish catcher. and it's just a fun lure to throw. It covers water. You can work it a bunch of different ways, fast, slow, bump it off stuff. So if I had one lure, it would be the square bill for sure. If I had a backup, it would probably be, how do you get in on the toy drive? Easy, buddy. You can either, so my name's Sam Matthews on Facebook. That's my real name. But you can message me there, Sambo209 on Instagram. So if you want to just donate, period, you could do that too. If you want to go on a fishing trip, all you have to do is get a hold of me and be like, hey, I'd like to donate. Let's go fishing. I'll take you out to the Delta, to one of the lakes, wherever you want to go, and we go spend a day having fun catching fish, and I record it, we shoot it all, and at the end of the year I take care of all these kids, and I record as much of it as I can, because it's a little bit tricky recording kids, so there's like some rules to what I can and can't do. But I recorded one last year called Fishmas 2020. It's about 45 minutes long. I took care of over 200 kids for Christmas. So the first 15 minutes too, it's pretty cool. I get to introduce you to like all the people that donated. So a little short snips of a lot of different videos of the guys with their kids, catching fish, or me and dudes out having fun at the Delta, doing all kinds of stuff. So usually, like the guys with their kids, they want to go to lakes where we can catch them, like at least one or two on a drop shot or something, to teach them something, or try to get numbers. The Delta is more for like skilled, or more people with the older people with a little bit more fishing skills. But I do it with kids. I'll do it with, but you got to be careful, So like I try to avoid showing any faces or anything. But for the Christmas thing, or you have to have permission. So I got permission to record me at the Salvation Army, and I took care of like 45 or 50 kids at the Salvation Army, and I had permission to do that. And then I had permission from a few parents when I went to their homes to drop off toys for them. And then other ones, I just like showed me getting the toys out and then starting to head somewhere, but you don't know the house, you don't see the street, there's no identifiable information. So I tried to play it as safe as I can. Because I don't do this for the views, you know what I mean? I do the toy drive ever since my son passed away in 2006. What happened, long story short, is I stood up for myself and defended myself in a way, and I was awarded a little bit of money, and I took that money that I was awarded, and I donated all of it back to Toys for Tots, to the Merced Police Department for kids, and it felt really good. It was a great thing to do, and my first Christmas as a kid that I could remember, it was a toy drive Christmas. I grew up poor, so I had a few toy drive Christmas in my childhood. So it's super important to me to try to give little kids a decent Christmas. So anyway, so yeah, that's something I do, and hopefully this year we'll take care of as many as we can. There's shortages. The shelves are not as full of toys. Prices are through the roof right now. So there's challenges. Life's kind of crazy right now, ain't it? It's weird. But so I'm just trying to be a rock in the storm and provide some shelter and some happiness and some fun times and stuff. So good memories too, taking guys and gals out on fishing trips for donating, you know. It's all right. Is 2006 when he passed away. He's would have been like 15 years old now. And what's crazy is I thought it was all my firstborn. I was like biblical. I was all like distraught, like, God, you took my firstborn. And it turns out my actual firstborn's 19 years old. And that's a whole different story. But a kid that I knew that I had, but the mom told me it wasn't mine, and it disappeared on me. I tried to get a hold of her. I actually got a hold of her like 3 times, and finally, um, after 19 years, she reaches out like, "Hey, that's your kid," And so I'm like, what? But turns out she gave him up for adoption. So I get, their information. We reach out, we do a DNA test. Yeah, it's my kid. So, but I haven't got to meet him or even talk to him yet. We're taking it slow. So good news is I was like, well, I always knew that was my kid. So it's like, there's always, life has ups and downs, there's always, going to be good times and going to be hard times. And there's going to be the good times are going to be even better if you help facilitate them, right? If you help facilitate the good times. That's why it's like, don't always expect the good, because bad times will come finding you. Because you could be sitting there minding your own business, trying to hide from bad times, and bad times will come find you. Good times, on the other hand, are usually, they have to be sought, right? So you got to get out of your shell. You got to go out. You got to have fun. You got to do stuff. So like, I love doing this kind of stuff too. I get to meet new people. I go on all these fishing trips, um, and it's for a good cause. I'm not a guide. I don't charge people a lot. I don't try to mess with like any of the local guides' businesses. They're real busy, and it's not like I probably could, unless like that was like my full time gig, which I got a HVAC company. I do these YouTube videos, and I got 4 kids. So, but this is a fun way to kind of get that experience. Tutoring kids. I fish with the kids too, and it's fun. I tutor them and try to help. Like, hey, teach them how to catch fish and do stuff. Um, and even adults, sometimes you're helping them teach. And then sometimes learning. Shoot, I got someone on the boat that knows more about bass fishing than me. Almost, I'm like, I'll shut up and I'm listening. All right, whatever. I'm here to have fun. Without bedtimes, there is no value to good times. Yeah, or bad times. I said bedtimes. Without bad times, there is no value to good ones. Yeah, that's just the nature of life, the yin and the yang, the night and the day, the up and the down. It's just, it is what it is. So the more you try to not fight it, it's not that you accept bad things. Shoot, I'm a fight tooth and nail to avoid going through bad things in life, but I'm going to enjoy the hell out of good things. You know what I mean? To quote somebody famous, I'm going to grab it by the whoo. I'm going to grab life by the snidity snatch, and I'm going to hang on for one hell of a fun ride. And I'm going to have a good time, and I'm going to try to bring as many people with me as I can, and have a grand old time through this thing called life, because you only got one. So, that's my take on it. That's why I like sharing, having these fun, videos. I don't get paid much. I looked, what? I think I've made $560 off of YouTube so far in a year. Almost just quite about a year. So, it's not like I'm making a ton of money, but the idea is maybe I do this for 5, 6 years and build something up. It might go somewhere. And either way, it's a great outlet. It's a good connection tool to connect with people in the community and other people. We got guys from West Virginia. Shout out to RC Creative. We got people all over the country. So I've even seen guys in other countries. So I get stoked, especially when we get trolled every once in a while. I love it. It's cool. Yep, exactly. What are your top fall transition baits for lakes? Right now, I'd have to say that it's going to be a drop shot, because I can take a drop shot. If you've ever seen a Suzuki rig or a Tokyo rig where like the weight's right at the bottom of the hook, look at, I can take a drop shot and I can make my leader an inch so that it has some swing ability between the hook and the weight. They're not connected, right? I can make my drop shot an inch. I can make it 6. I can make it a foot. I can make it 2. I can make it 3 or 4. I can make a 6-foot leader if I want. Trust me, in the fall, sometimes. Secret. Giant leader, if those fish are off the bottom and they're not on the bottom and you're dangling it high enough, though. But let's say you're over 50 feet of water and the fish are 30 feet down, right? So at least 20 feet from the fish to the bottom, but they're not 1 foot flat. The school might be 5 feet wide. So them fish are maybe 10 feet from the bottom. So if you have a 6-foot leader, your lure's dangling right below a massive fish. So they'll come down and hit on it, you know. So a big long leader. Drop shot's not my best, but it's one of them. Now, on add with the drop shot, but more fun and better than a drop shot is an LV 500. LV 500 is one of my favorite baits there is. It's a great freaking lure all times of the year, but especially during the fall. And then I'd have to say, on top of that, a rattle trap, then backed by either a spoon, a flutter spoon, or a jigging spoon, because you have to figure out the rate of fall and what they want. So if the fish want something noisy and loud, or they want it dropping fast, an LV 500 drops fast, but it's got a lot of rattles. If they want it fast but quiet, a jigging spoon drops fast and erratic, but it's quiet, has no rattles. Now, if they want it slow and fluttering down, a flutter spoon flutters slowly but has no rattles, right? Now, a rattle trap, the old original rattle trap, falls really slow. Even though to us it looks like it falls deep at first, once it gets 8 feet down, it starts slowly going down, while an LV 500 drops a lot quicker, like a jigging spoon. So those four kind of go in the same category, and it's like figuring out which one of those four do I want. So like I'll have, you know what I mean, to cycle through those. Oh, I'm telling you, the Don Pedro one, I caught that nice bass on at Don Pedro. I haven't even been doing a lot of fishing, man. If I was fishing like last year, oh, I'd be wrecking these damn bass. I've just been struggling and stressing with the fact that I own my own business. Tax time is going to be coming up. I don't know what I owe. I need to go see an accountant. I only have so much in savings, and then I made so I got to figure out how much do I think I'm going to have left over? What am I going to owe them? And I need to continue to make money, so I'm working. And now that it's slow because it's not hot and it's not cold, and I just started my business like a year and a half ago. I don't have this big, big old pile of customers laying around to do maintenances and random work for. So I've got like this other side job that I'm doing where I'm working with another HVAC company, kind of like subcontracting my labor out to them. And I'm still my own company, so I have no, I don't answer to nobody as far as, I have a task, I go do it, I get paid. And it works out. It's very busy. And then with the 4 kids and there's some crazy things. My wife's a school teacher. We got 4 kids. We got the letters that the kids got to be vaccinated by a certain date. I'm not sure because I want to do this because of I don't want YouTube to give me a strike or ban the video or anything. But I'm just saying, like the vaccines are probably safe, but there's just studies that have shown blood clots and heart issues in younger people that have taken it. So I'm a little concerned for my children, right? And my wife's a teacher, so she's a little hesitant too. So there's like some fear, but she'd rather do it than get fired. So there's just like some crazy, we're doing a lot of things right now. I'm trying to hustle and make a lot of money, but at the same time, I'm spending a lot on these toys and doing a lot just to try to help. So it's a fun juggle. It's like, you know what though? That's Jordan Peterson said something about life. He said there's one of his famous videos where Jordan Peterson said, find the heaviest thing that you can carry and carry it, right? And what he means by that is push yourself, right? You find the biggest load of work and mental stuff that you can do and do it. Keep yourself busy and challenge yourself because the rewards are great. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. So I look at it like that. I'm not meaning to bitch. Sorry about that. So anyways, so me and my buddy were crushing it. Yeah, we were having a good time. There's a couple of videos I could, like last year, oh dude, last year this time of year we were merculating it really bad. I was catching a ton of fish, nice 2 and 3 pounders left and right. I've got a lot. So the channel here has been around for 2 years now. And so the YouTube channel has been on for 2 years. I've been monetized for about 8 months now. Took me, a year and just a couple months to get monetized. It was really kind of right at about a year mark. So it's been almost 2 years. It's like a year and 3/4, something like that. But it's been a fun ride, to grow from zero to this. And hopefully, we'll get a lot bigger and better. So I look forward. I try to collab, hopefully reach out to some people, get some other bass fishing guys and other bass fishing channels to do a show with me, to either, go out on the Delta with me for a day, or either, you know, sit in and do one of the shows with me. I don't know. So I'm trying to get a guest on, a legit one. I'm thinking I'd rather even pay someone to come sit down and hang out with me if I had to. That's a legit good fisherman, rather than bring like, or one of my good friends who's really good at fishing. I don't want to like just bring some random, bud in who's like halfway, I want to, either, unless it's for comedic relief, then maybe I should be the pro, and then they could be the noob. Yo, how's it going, Marco? What a doobie. Yeah, let me know, dude. I'm down. So I want to try to grow the channel, but it's also about making connections. That's life. It's all about who you know, not what you know. Took me a while to realize that, like to truly understand that, and then not in necessarily a bad sense. Because then once I started saying it, it was kind of like in a bad way. But now I actually truly understand the meaning, because it's like, the more connections you have in life, the better off you are as just a person too. The more experiences, the more different inputs you're going to have. So you're not going to be like just this one way. You're going to be multifaceted, basically. So that's the idea. Like getting out and having fun, meeting new people. It's always a good time. And sometimes I get a little, excited and stuff, or might come off like it's my way or the highway, or I know it all or whatever, which I don't. Always preface it or say that. Oh, we had a COOF notification, blah, 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 blah. One individual tested positive. Yeah, but I haven't got no. They'll straight up text you. Your kid sat next to somebody. Oh, I'll have to answer him later. Oh, sorry. But yeah, see what I mean? I'm juggling. I'm a juggler. Juggalo. That was somebody from work, basically. I got to text him back. But yeah, it's been crazy year. So I'm looking forward to hopefully doing some collabs, growing the channel, getting somebody with me maybe for a couple shows, and see where we can go from there. But we'll close out this year strong, do what we can. We got the Christmas giveaway for all the members. Hey, Callie, nice to see you on tonight. But so we'll have something for everybody too come Christmas, and you know just try to bring in the fall transition, hopefully with just one or two more big fish before we get into winter fishing and the rain and the cold, because there's some big fish that come in the winter. It's just slower. The video content will be a little trickier to produce sometimes. Sometimes the winter can be on fire, but it's kind of a good sign. We got rain already. We in California, we just thank God we got a first little bit of rain here in October. And if you get October rain, then that usually means if you get late September or early October rain, that usually means a wet season. So fingers crossed, knock on wood. We'll get these lakes filling up soon, and the fish will start pushing up into the backs of creeks and into the river head, basically where the fresh water's coming in. And fishing should, if that happens, I'm going to be excited. We'll have some good fishing to bring to you guys, probably for like the next few months. And if it stays like that, then following that kind of tradition, it rains, but it's comfortable and warm. Top water will be just really just awesome. The shad will be spawning early, or what they'll also be doing is up in the shallows early, but because it'll be overcast, that spring type of weather, they'll stay up there for an extended period of time. So you can literally stay on a top water extravaganza bite or a like an A-rig bite from like 5 in the morning till like 10, 11, even almost 12 o'clock, before that sun, just before it gets so high up in the sky that it just kind of pushes the shad and bait fish down. And then the bass just move a little bit. Then all you got to do is just start bottom bouncing and fishing out in like 15 to 30 feet, because they'll push them and you'll fish shallow and fish medium all in there, and you just destroy it. But then as the sun gets up higher and those bait fish pull off, the bass will pull down and sit down there with them. Then you just pull out the drop shot or Texas rig or shaky head, whatever floats your boat, and throw something down there. Preferably try to match the hatch, But if you want, I've been throwing 5, 6 inch, 7 inch Cincos even when the hatch is only 3 inches, and just murdering them and getting 3-4 pounders out of McClure. But this was 2 years ago. So, but I have all the videos, like to show it. McClure's been having it's been fun at McClure. So I've been having a good time at McClure. Pedro's been good too. Fishing's been a little up and down though. It can be a little tough. Fish finder. So my pole's my fish finder, and if I'm not getting bites, I have to decide, is it the depth, speed, and presentation of the lure, or is it the area? And I got to move around and figure them out. But once I do, I usually get them dialed in. And then this time of year, what happens is because there'll be wild fluctuations in the weather, where one day it's 80, the next day it's 65, next day it's 88 or 85. Might even have another 90-degree day, but I doubt it. Maybe actually. And then you'll have some cold days. So the weather is just up and down from warm to cold before we settle into just pure cold. And the fishing will kind of change with those weather changes until it bottoms out. Then once it bottoms out, the fish will kind of start to move into their winter patterns. We'll get into that. We'll talk about that, because the fall here is kind of short depending on how the temperature is here. Fished Brennan Island on Tuesday. Bite was tough. Yeah, I heard that the fishing tournament was getting a little rough, or fishing tournament. I heard the fishing is getting a little tougher, but just depends. You got to follow the fish, and there'll be days where they just don't bite. But then you got to find a different school. So if you're on a school, like if you're on a location, an area of the lake or in the delta where you're getting destroyed, and then the next day it shuts off and you hunt around, you can't find them, they may still be there, just not eating. That could happen, in which case then you need to haul balls out of there and find another location, different water. Ooh, dinner. Love you. Duck and dodge, duck and dodge. Here.
Oh, the camera here.
Oh, okay.
It's hot.
It's hot. Thank you, man. Chicken soup, fresh, homemade, just made tonight. Check it out, folks. Oh shit, it's hot. She wasn't lying. You have to wait a few seconds. Lots of shaker, striper wise. Yeah. Only hitting on top water and LV 500. Lots of shaker stripers. Yeah. Try throwing a big swim bait if you're in the area next happens. Try throwing like a Sneaky Pete, S-Waver, something real white though, white and red, in that stripe. If you're going for striper, I've seen a lot of guys damaging them on swim baits right now. But yeah, sometimes that just happens. You be in areas, there's just a lot of little fish. Just try changing your lure too. Because the Delta, There's big fish everywhere, but there are areas like that are worse than others. One thing to watch out for in the Delta right now is you gotta pay attention to the weeds. All right, if the weeds are brown, get out of there. If you see green and brown, you're good. Green, good. But if you're in like mostly brown stuff, get out of there. Because what's going to happen right now, as the nights start cooling off, the hyacinth, or hydrilla, or whatever it is, I always get dyslexic with the name. They both start with an H. So excuse me, I'm sorry to the plant snobs out there. But so the whatever it is will start to die at around like 55 degrees or something like that. So as the water, a lot of the delta isn't very deep, and shallow water cools off a lot quicker than deep water. So when these nights start getting in the 40s, these plants are going to start dying off, and they won't have oxygen. They won't hold life, so the fish won't be in there as much. So that can be also a dead giveaway if you're in a bad area. So pay attention to the area that you're in. Fishing, look for ambush spots, ambush points, any spots where water will pull in and out of an area where you might have a slough here and a slough here, and then you have all these weed tulies here and tulies here, and you have a little narrow cut that connects the two, and then you notice the currents pulling through it. Oh, those are magic at the Delta. Find those and fish those. And no matter where you're at, if you see something like that, that's where you want to fish. And if you have multiple places like that, you fish those. That's how they fish like Okeechobee. They'll look for spots that cross and move, like points where wind blows across, or if there's like a lane that fish use, and then it's basically like an off ramp where they're going to go into, and it's a little shortcut or a way that they go right. That little choke point, you fish that, and you're guaranteed to get good fish. Because usually good fish take the best spots, right? So they'll hang out in spots that's easier to get food. It was all green. Yeah, okay. That's why I had fish apparently. But they were probably, like you said, they're all little. I don't know. That's fishing. Happens to me too a lot. I went with my daughter the other day. We had a blast, but all we did was we caught a bunch of little shakers. I got one that was like 2 pounds, but we got a bunch of little dinks. And Mark Nav got like a 3 pounder, 3.5 pounder, 3 pounder, and his buddy got like a 2.5, or maybe I think he did. And so they got a couple of nice fish, but most of our fish that me and my daughter got, man, they were small. That was tough. But, that's a Delta. I lost a good fish, though, so I don't like to talk about that, though. Some noises are getting made. Man, I'm babysitting on this beer, though. I need to drink it. All right. So let me know in the comments, what do you guys prefer? You guys prefer this format where it's like the big screen of me? You guys can see all the crap in the background. And I don't know how you guys have it, but I got the big chat box on the right-hand side. Or do you like being able to see my screen where I take you guys around places and then I'm the little dude in the right-hand corner? Let me know. Leave a comment below. And I've been playing with the different stream formats. I don't know which one has the best quality either, because when I'm sitting here watching this right now, the quality looks legit, right? And then I'll go to watch it later just to check it out. Okay, I got X amount of views, and I'll click on it, especially if I start waving my hands. So I got to watch that. I notice that the screen will get blurry or pixelated, and I'm like, what the heck? I've got a decent uh, webcam, so I don't know what the hell, and I'm like trying to figure it out. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. You know what what you guys prefer. Excuse me. This format or the other one. But we also got on late tonight, so apologize for that. Because I was on a little early, but I got on it's like 6:50. So I try to get on at 6 o'clock, but if I don't get on at 6, I usually get on at 7. And we go from 6 to 9 or 7 to 9, just depends. But I just wanted to touch bases with everybody, let you guys know I'm still here, I'm still alive, ain't dead yet, and thank everybody who's supporting the channel by just being a subscriber, a member, a viewer, whatever. All you guys and gals, commenters, you help the algorithm push the channel more. The more you comment, interact, if you like the video, comment on the video. Same thing with my other stuff. You see my stuff, even if you only watch it for a minute or two, like and comment on it. It helps YouTube put it out there. So big shout out to you guys and gals. Thank you guys very much. Um, Also let you guys know giveaway next Wednesday is what we're shooting for the October giveaway. So happy Halloween early to you guys and gals. Hope you guys have a safe weekend. Make sure you have a ton of fun, but make sure you're safe. And we'll see you guys back on Monday. I'm gonna sign off early tonight. We only got a couple people on, but we'll take off and we'll see you guys on Monday. I'm gonna get some tackle here, and we're going to get some of my favorite colors. We'll talk about why I like what. We'll get out the different, LV 500s, rattle traps, and spoons that I have. Talk about when I'd use what spoon. I'll bring out my gear and show you what gear I use my spoons and my LV 500s on, why I use what gear that I use, and then my backup or secondary gear that I use for them, depending on how the fishing. So stay tuned for that. We'll be seeing you guys on Monday. And I'm going to be making sure next week that if I miss a day, I'll be making it up because I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to have those days off. Monday, Thursday, and Friday. I know I'm working probably in the Bay Area. So hopefully I'll be home in time. If not, maybe I'll just jump on late. But for sure, in the middle of the week, I'm going to have something cool planned if I'm not able to get it done by Monday. But I'm going to set it all up this weekend. So I have all my gear right here. I'm going to have all my stuff. We're going to do a really cool video. Also going to probably look at doing a split screen format potentially, or I may play with the format and actually start trying to bounce back and forth between the two live and hopefully not lose the feed. We'll see how it goes. That way, maybe I can take you guys along, share the screen, do GPS stuff, look at maps and look at Google Earth, and then break down stuff for you guys and show you gear and get up and close and show you guys lures and be like, here, look at this, look at that. Show you guys what I'm using and all that. So, anyways, stay tuned. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good night. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.